This is crazy. Those were the potatoes. They look like they got frosted too because of the ice that's been on them all night. Good morning, guys. It is a dreary July 5th. I hope my fellow Americans had a wonderful 4th of July. And we did. It was a good day. The rain was kind of sprinkling. We were all, my family that was here, we normally go to the coast for the 4th of July for the last like 30 some years. And we've been sticking closer to home because it's nice to have sunny and dry 4th of July, because in Central Oregon we're dry. But it was a wet and stormy weekend. Oh man. I got a cat in a toolbox right here. This is Apricot. She's our barn kitty. Well, more like porch kitty. She doesn't spend too much time in the barn. She's always on the porch. Yes. So I still gotta water the greenhouses, and my friend Kathleen is coming over, and we're gonna get some work done in the little garden. Not in the little garden, in the big garden. We're gonna just do some cleaning, and we need to harvest some garlic scapes because we want those big fat juicy bulbs. Gotta get those scapes off. So I had talked to you once about my garlic scapes. I'm a little concerned about them just because the rain, and they're heavily mulched because typically we're very dry, and I mulch them heavily to retain moisture and to conserve water. It might be coming to bite me in the arse because of all the rain. Now, last week was dry, which was good, and the next week looks like it's gonna be dry, like upper 80s, pushing 90s, and that'll be nice and good. I'm a cool weather gal. I love living in the north. Oh, here's this side track. Oh, and it smells so lovely. If this wasn't my first bloom, I might clip it off and bring it in. But I found a 4th bloom. So it is a late blooming lilac, and I just keep getting more blooms, which is really cool. But I'm a cool weather gal. I like living in Central Oregon where we get harsh winters and a lot of snow, and I love that. And I used to not really care for summer. It just gets so hot and dry, and I didn't love it. I love the fall and the spring and the winter. Which I live in the right place for that, because traditionally we have a short summer. They used to joke like in Central Oregon we'd have summer and winter. It gets so hot in the spring and so hot in the fall. It's like 6 months of summer, 6 months of winter, or maybe a little more of winter. But we've been actually feeling like, I felt like the last few years we've gotten a fall and a spring. Spring would normally last like a week or two or so, but we're getting a good, like it's summer, it still feels like spring. Anyway, so we're out in the rain today just to get some work done. It's cool. Might as well work in the cool. I'm gonna take the golf cart over. Still gotta water the high tunnel. So we're gonna get on over to that. Got the sprinkler and the high tunnel going. I got a broom. I'm gonna sweep some pathways in the little garden. Why do I keep saying that? I'm gonna sweep some pathways in the big garden. Before we go over there, I'm gonna insert these clips from this weekend. It was actually Sunday morning. I went over to my parents' house at like 10 a.m. The night before, they got this massive hailstorm. They live about 4 miles away from us, and they had a lot of gardens. We were out about an hour away helping some friends of ours, and my parents called and were like FaceTiming me, and it was the craziest hailstorm I've ever seen. And they said it went on for about 45 minutes. The hail ranged from like this big to whatever, and it left about a half a foot of hail. I went over the next day at 10 to get some stuff from my mom, and as we were driving closer, we got to their property line. It only hit like about 10 houses around their area, which they live in the country, so it's a bigger area than you think. But as we got closer, my youngest son goes, "Mom, why is it winter here?" And I was like, oh my gosh, it's still there. So they got hit about like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock the night before. Went on for 45 minutes with hail. Got like a half a foot of hail. The next day I went over, it was warm. It was July 3rd. It pulverized their garden. I mean, just pulverized it. And not just their garden, the pine trees, the deciduous trees, all my sister's perennials, all my mom's garden, my sister's garden, everything. Fortunately, their greenhouse, well, their roof with the corrugated plastic for their porch area was just shredded, and their high tunnel, like the poly, was fine. It does have some damage, like you can see where all the individual hay all went in, but it didn't rip any plastic. But we were so concerned because we thought it would hit us because we're so close, and we didn't get it. We got heavy rains, but we got a little hail, but we didn't get the crazy hail. I mean, for it to hail on like 5-6 o'clock in PM and then still be there, it was there most of the day on Saturday. That is crazy. I'm going to insert some footage I took from that morning I went over there. Mind you, a lot had melted, but it was mind-blowing. So fortunately we were spared, and we're growing a lot of food, and so hopefully their garden comes back. But kind of get to see the crazy weather. You can't count on weather. If you're growing food for like counting on your garden, this just showed us we gotta be a little prepared for storms like this, because what else is the option? You lose your entire garden like they did. It was not just it wasn't just the hail that damaged it. It was, but like a lot of their potatoes just look frosted. Well, they were frozen because the hail, 6 inches of hail was on them all night. So you just can't rely sometimes on the weather to cooperate, and so you gotta put in some fail safes. Got to my family's home, my sister and my parents' houses and their property. Watch out, Ken. And last night they had a crazy hailstorm, which didn't get us, all over the grasses. They took down all these pine trees. This is crazy. I don't know. So July 3rd looks like a snowstorm came through. This is crazy. Wow. This is crazy. Those were the potatoes. They look like they got frosted too because of the ice that's been on them all night. Mom's Jerusalem artichokes. Look at this. This bed is the funniest one. I'm like tramping through the ice. Okay, I will. This is crazy, Mom. Like, those were the Jerusalem artichokes. Were they taller than that too? They got beat down. This is insane. It's like 10 in the morning and it's still here from yesterday. Wow, that's a hailstorm, man. Oh my gosh. Wait, we gotta get this heavy bit off. Well, they survived because of the plastic. The lone survivors. Did you run out here and do it?
Yeah, I did. Got beat up.
This is insane. Melting now. Tree was gorgeous and lush. Gosh, this poor tree.
So Kylie, I had my chives and they were like this big and
bushy.
had beautiful
Blossoms.
We got one too.
This is insane. The easiest part is I'm seeing this the next day. I know. I saw him. He's pathetic. And it's still like a couple inches of hail. This is this is crazy, Beth. So they're on safety. Was that your rhubarb?
That was a pile I put there.
Oh.
That's my rhubarb. Look at it.
She's.
There's only sticks left. No.
Oh no.
I chopped
Sad.
them,
This was that glorious mint. This should come back, right? This is crazy. July 3rd. Your beautiful hops trellis. Yeah, your flower baskets.
I still have some of there.
After seeing the destructive damage, found this old tote in here. I'm gonna put my escapes in because I gotta harvest them and I forgot a basket. It'd be really cute to be that girl with the cute basket right now. It's just not reality. Look at that scape. That's a big one. So, for a garden this size though, how can one affordably can you prepare for an event like that? Besides having a high tunnel, only planting in high tunnels, I don't know that you can do it. They were able to, there was that clip of the strawberries, they were able to run out, put the thing over the strawberries, and save the strawberries. They are a little damaged, but most of them, but basically they're saved. So if we had plastic on all of our rows or available, that would be great. But look at the size of this garden. How do you feasibly do that? I don't know yet. It would be, we had to leave my friends right after I was like stressing hardcore about my garden. We had to come home because I was so worried that everything we worked hard for was gone. Fortunately, my parents didn't have a greenhouse made out of corrugated plastic. Just their porch. But still, that's a loss. How do you protect yourself from that? I don't know. I don't know if you can. Do you just prepare? If you're relying on your gardens. Like, fortunately for us, like I was talking to you, my last video about the broccoli, well, we have the store. Well, for now we have the store. Do I want a conscious decision that I'm relying on the grocery store when my garden fails? A hailstorm comes through and wipes out the whole thing? Or take matters in my own hands and have infrastructure in place to prevent damage to my crops. But how? My parents have a much smaller garden and they're able to put PVC hoops and have plastic, and she's like, we're just gonna have it ready. And if we have to go out, the odds of that big of a storm hitting the same place twice are low, but you never know. But they want to put it in for protection, which I get, because they're learning to garden. They have put a lot of work into it. It's quite discouraging. And I think a lot of you I've seen in comments that you guys are just getting droughted. Places that normally aren't getting droughts are getting severe droughts. We're used to that here. We're used to a drought, and we're not getting a drought. Well, technically we're still in a severe drought, but as far as my garden goes, I was prepared for drought. And we still might get a dry summer the rest of July and August, but as of now, it's been a couple days since that last clip, but we're out here. I wanted to get some planting done. We have been, my friend Kathleen and I have been, which is why that video got cut short, is because Kathleen was over helping me get the garden. We're just working on the garden. And one of the things we did was got this bed prepped, raked out, cleaned up, and now I want to plant it. These are not cookies. These are my sunflower seeds from last year that I saved. Let's see what we got in here. These are a pro cut. This is a pro cut. I don't want to grow pro cuts. I don't even know why that's in here. I don't think that is a pro cut. I think it's that purple one for us to grow up. Okay, this is what I'm interested in. These are the hybrid ones that I grew last year. Hopefully we still have enough time to grow them this year. And I'm just gonna plant them every couple, I don't know, 6 inches or so. And this is for beauty as well as just some animal feed, and hopefully we have enough by planting this entire row, which is like a 70-foot row, 5 foot by 70 foot row. It's a pretty good sized row. I believe, just to wrap up that last video, was a lot of you are experiencing droughts. That's a terrible noise. A lot of you are experiencing droughts where there typically isn't droughts, and we're experiencing a lot of wetness. Even though we're still technically in a severe drought, we're experiencing a lot of moisture, which we're not technically used to. So everybody's just learning to kind of cope with what they're not familiar with, and we got to go from there. We need to figure out if we can do some hail protection here, and if I need to not mulch my beds as heavily this summer. We'll see. We have a hot week coming up, so maybe it'll dry out my garlic and it won't rot it out. I'm getting distracted by these broad beans. Look at these blossoms. That is loaded with blossoms, and they're so beautiful. They're black and white. Hi, Frage. Just loaded. That's amazing. So I'm gonna probably won't get this whole row done, but I'm going to attempt it. Progress every day. All right, guys, well, thanks so much for following along. How's the weather where you are? Is it seeming normal? Is it seeming warm? Is it seeming cooler? Dry? Are you getting your normal precipitation? What's it like where you are? Let me know. And I will see you guys on my next video. Thanks for following along. Be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. Bye, guys.